Houthi, U.S. tension rise, B-52. Bombers on high alert amid escalating tensions with Houthi forces. In a clear display of military readiness, multiple U.S. Air Force B-52 Stratofortress bombers were seen taking off at full speed from forward deployed bases in the Middle East amid escalating tensions with Yemen's Houthi forces. The rapid launch, involving dozens of B-52 bomber pilots, comes in response to increasing drone and missile threats posed by the Iran-backed Houthi movement in the Red Sea region. U.S. officials have not confirmed whether the deployment is part of a larger pre-planned operation or a direct reaction to a specific threat. However, military analysts point to the move as a show of force aimed at deterring further Houthi aggression. The Houthis, officially known as Ansar of God, have ramped up attacks on maritime shipping lanes and have reportedly targeted U.S. naval vessels in recent weeks. In response, the U.S. has expanded its military presence in the region, including the redeployment of strategic bombers like the B-52. Capable of delivering both conventional and nuclear payloads, the B-52 remains one of America's most powerful long-range bombers with a combat radius of over 8,800 miles. Its presence in the Middle East signals a heightened level of readiness and a message that the U.S. will defend its assets and allies against escalating regional threats. As of now, no official military engagement between U.S. bombers and Houthi forces has been confirmed. Still, with tensions at a boiling point, the situation remains fluid and highly volatile. The return of the Cold War icon. The B-52 Stratofortress, a Cold War-era giant first introduced in the 1950s, remains one of the most formidable aircraft in the U.S. military's arsenal. Despite its age, the aircraft has been continually modernized and is capable of carrying up to 70,000 pounds of weaponry, including precision-guided munitions, cruise missiles, and nuclear warheads. Recent images and videos shared across defense media platforms and confirmed by satellite tracking show large-scale B-52 formations departing from air bases in Diego Garcia, Qatar, and potentially a newly activated temporary airfield in the region. These takeoffs occurred at full military readiness, with aircraft departing in quick succession under cover of darkness. Military analysts describe the movement as a maximum readiness show-of-force operation, designed to send a direct message to the Houthis and their regional backers, particularly Iran. The Houthi escalation, a persistent regional threat. The Houthis have dramatically increased their military activity in the past few months. Their use of ballistic missiles, anti-ship cruise missiles, and drones has posed a significant threat to regional shipping routes, especially the Bab al-Mandab Strait, a vital choke point for global energy and trade. In recent weeks, the U.S. Navy confirmed multiple incidents in which Reaper drones and other unmanned aircraft operated by the Houthis attempted to strike U.S. destroyers in the Red Sea. Though most attacks were intercepted, several managed to come dangerously close to their targets. As a result, CENTCOM has elevated its regional alert level and shifted more air and naval resources into strategic positions. The B-52 deployment fits squarely into this strategy of muscular deterrence. Why the B-52?
Primarily fly
B-52 is not merely a symbol of brute force, it is also a flexible and strategic asset. Able to fly more than 8,800 miles without refueling and strike from high altitudes with both standoff and direct precision munitions, the aircraft offers a powerful option for rapid retaliation or preemptive action should the need arise. Furthermore, its mere presence in the region exerts psychological pressure. For adversaries such as the Houthis, who rely heavily on asymmetric warfare tactics, guerrilla strategies, and propaganda, the threat of overwhelming air power from an established world power like the United States forces a recalibration of their strategy. According to Air Force Colonel Jeffrey Saunders, speaking to Defense One, the B-52 is an unmistakable message. When it flies, people listen. When dozens of them take off in full combat formation, it means something's about to change. Regional politics and the Iran factor. Although the immediate focus remains on the Houthis, regional dynamics suggest a broader geopolitical context. The Houthis are closely allied with Iran, sharing both ideological and logistical ties. Iran has long provided advanced weaponry and training to Houthi fighters, including drone technology and ballistic missile components, many of which have been traced back to Iranian factories. As the U.S. ramps up its posture in Yemen, it risks drawing further ire from Tehran, which has already condemned recent airstrikes in the region. U.S. officials, however, maintain that their operations are purely defensive and aimed at preserving freedom of navigation and protecting allies. Middle East expert Dr. Lina Qasim of the Brookings Institution suggests that this show of force is also directed at Iran, though indirectly. It signals that the U.S. is willing to escalate militarily if Iranian proxies continue to destabilize key maritime corridors. What happens next? While the U.S. has not confirmed whether any bombing runs are imminent, military sources indicate that several of the deployed B-52s have remained airborne in long-duration holding patterns over the Arabian Sea, potentially waiting for further orders. Additionally, intelligence reports shared by regional partners suggest that Houthi forces have begun reinforcing key missile sites near Sana'a and along the western coast of Yemen, possibly in anticipation of a retaliatory strike. The Department of Defense has remained cautious in its public statements, emphasizing de-escalation while warning that U.S. forces will act decisively if necessary. "We are not seeking a broader conflict," said Pentagon Press Secretary Major's General Pat Ryder in a press briefing Tuesday. "But let it be clear, we will protect our personnel, our partners, and the free flow of commerce in this region." Public opinion and congressional response. As the situation unfolds, U.S. lawmakers have begun to weigh in. Some, like Senator Lindsey Graham, support the strong military posture, calling it a necessary step to stop Iranian aggression in its tracks. Others express concern about mission creep and the potential for a wider war in the Middle East. Humanitarian organizations have also voiced alarm. With Yemen still recovering from years of civil war and famine, the threat of renewed bombing campaigns raises serious questions about civilian safety. The UN has already called for restraint and has urged all sides to return to diplomatic channels. Conclusion: a high-stakes game of power projection. The emergency takeoff of dozens of U.S. B-52 bombers marks one of the most dramatic displays of American aerial power in the region in recent years. Whether this leads to direct conflict with the Houthis or serves as a successful act of deterrence remains to be seen. What is certain is that the skies over the Arabian Peninsula are now more crowded, more dangerous, and more geopolitically significant than they've been in a decade.